afternoon, sports fans from all around the globe. My name is Riley Magnuson. This is East Coast Sports Investors Closing Bell for Thursday, April 20th. I am going solo today. Jeff Dawson, very busy man as always. He's got plenty of shows coming at you tomorrow, but going to get you geared up for Thursday's night of action. With all things NBA and MLB. As always, if you know me, you know I'm not the NHL guy. Evening, Mr. Connor. I appreciate you stopping by as always. But I have been enjoying these NHL playoffs so far. So anybody that wants to drop their thoughts in the comments, I am not going to argue with you. So we will talk about MLB and NBA, though. Last night in the NBA, we're leaning on the Grizzlies. Didn't give my full confidence on the Grizzlies. Ja Morant news came official after the show. Him staying out after he was out. I went ahead and took a swing on the Grizzlies. Just missed the cover on the Wolves. The 8.5, whatever it was, finished on 9. Close game. They kind of just imploded down the stretch in the fourth quarter. So that's a tough one. Stand by it though, and then. Like the Bucks to win, didn't know how we felt about the spread, so stayed away from that one there. And then as far as tonight is concerned, we got 3 here again tonight. The 2 solid series, no Kawhi Leonard though, so that's going to put a little bit of a damper on that Clippers-Sun series. But if it's anything like the regular season, like Jeff and I talk about with the NBA, you never want to get stuck one way or another on these injury news with the NBA. So. At one point, one of these nights, you're going to have a goofy injury go the wrong way, and maybe the Clippers are the team tonight that win in spite of being without Kawhi Leonard. So, not suggesting that, but it's always weird. So we're probably going to stay away from that one. But as far as the MLB goes, only a handful left here. I think you've got one in the tank so far. 11-5 Boston. There in the Fenway Park area, and then one going on right now. So as far as that is concerned, we will move on. All right, my apologies for the technical difficulties. We are back. All right, as far as MLB goes, the one in the tank, if I got myself cut off there, Boston 11-5, and the Yankees up 5-0 now. We've got five games left that haven't gone off yet. Both of them not for a couple of hours here. We'll start there and then switch it up and go into NBA after that. So going right into the MLB, big slate yesterday. Moving a lot of, front heavy, a lot of the games we talked about yesterday. I think there was only 4 left for the evening when I was talking. Kind of the same thing today, just not as many games today. But Cincinnati and Pittsburgh is the first one in tonight's slate, jumping right into it. Minus 164 Pittsburgh. Roansy Contreras against Weaver in the Reds, his first start of the season here. Kind of a weird one here. Obviously, Pittsburgh has vastly exceeded expectations so far for this club. Cincinnati 7-11. Honestly, maybe you might expect that's exceeding for their standards. Pittsburgh goes into Colorado, gets the full 3-game sweep. They had a nice week there this week. Now matching up with Cincy for actually the second time this year. They opened up against each other, and Cincy took 2 out of 3 from them there. So as much as I'm not interested in jumping into a Roansy Contreras start here for Pittsburgh, I will go ahead and lean towards Pittsburgh getting the win in this one. He's actually been solid in 2 out of his 3 starts, sandwiched one rough one against Houston, 7 earned runs. 1 earned run in his first start against Boston, 2 earned runs allowed at St. Louis. Second start at home, kind of redemption spot for him here at home. Luke Weaver, like I said, his first start of the year. Didn't get a ton of work last year, 14 games. I don't think any of them were starts. So this is kind of an interesting spot for him. Could be an ugly one coming up out of the minor leagues there. So I'm going to lean towards Pittsburgh and Rosie Contreras getting the win, but obviously not laying the 165. Not trying to go to the run line with the Pittsburgh team that overall is probably due for some regression. So no interest in going to the favorite side from here today. As far as totals, 9.5. Maybe you like Pittsburgh's team total, 4.5, 5. Actually, 4.5 is minus 135. So forget I said that. But flat 5, I guess you could get that. Maybe at a respectable price there. But we'll move on from that one altogether. Colorado and Philly. Philly started to play a little better after a rough start. They've won 3 out of the last 4 against my White Sox. They took 2 out of 3 in Chicago. Back home for Colorado here, the road team Rockies, they've actually been kind of losing their pants off right now. I'm double checking what the losing streak for them is, and obviously they are typically the home team Rocks playing well, and so far it's been both ways ugly. 6 straight losses for them, clashing with now an improved and kind of rejuvenated Philly team here. Philly minus 210 at home, minus 110 on the run line. Not going to say the run line with the 24 outs as the potential home or as the home team potentially getting 24 outs, not being able to cover that run line. So staying away from that, and really not trying to get in front of this Rockies losing train right here. As far as pitching matchups go, you got Feltner versus Strom. Feltner has not been good. At some point, you're going to get a solid Feltner start probably, but there's no reason to try and pick around that. So moving on from that one altogether, 3 MLB games left. This is a quick one today for the MLB. Dodgers and Cubs in Wrigley Field. These two teams just played, I believe it was last week in LA for the most, or maybe this past weekend. Either way, Cubs took 2 out of 3 from that series. Cubs going to Oakland to take 3 straight against the struggling A's there. Dodgers 9-10. Grove on the mound for them. Assad on the mound for the Cubs. 2 guys that haven't been good so far this year. Kind of telling you it's a toss-up with this pitching matchup. I am seeing, despite the total in this one, it does appear, and maybe this is wrong information. I'm not the meteorologist by any means, but it is saying it's blowing in quite a bit. I kind of am thinking maybe that's wrong with the 11.5 total. But with these 2 guys, I could see anything happening, and honestly, you're probably going to expect a lot of runs from at least one of these 2 offenses tonight. So if you feel confident about one of these offenses, this one is probably a good popcorn game here tonight with these 2 teams and these 2 pitchers. It could be ugly. I honestly could see this Cubs offense regressing, so I kind of lean to the Dodgers in this one. Cubs put up 10, 4, and 12 against Oakland on the road. Coming back home, I could see them being a little rusty today, so I'm and with the Dodgers losing 3 of their last 4, kind of getting a little revenge here in Wrigley against the Cubs. I'll lean towards the Dodgers, but I'll wait for the rest of this series to see how this one plays out, and I think we'll have some potentially better spots after this one, after tonight with those 2 teams. So moving on out west for 2 games here. NL West, San Diego and Arizona, 9-11 San Diego, 11-8 Arizona. 8:40 my time, 9:40 East Coast time. Waka versus Nelson for Arizona. Arizona's starting to regress a little bit. 11-8. They had actually a 3-game win streak. Dropped one the other day to St. Louis 5-14. So the pitching has certainly regressed quite a bit. They just dropped Madison Bumgarner as far as I'm concerned. Not sure what the verdict is as far as where he is going to land, but that is a new development so far today. But as far as San Diego's concerned, their offense this last 4 days has been really, really rough. So to see them as a fairly significant favor with the total that it is, I could absolutely see the Padres offense bouncing back quite a bit here in this one. So I'm going to lean towards the Padres. I don't usually like saying the run line, but this is one where I could see the run line being a decent look for the Padres on this one. But I'll go to the touchdown over 5.5 for the old Padres there. So that is what I'm thinking with that one. As far as going back to the other West Coast All right, sorry, folks. Botching it with the technical difficulties today. Not winning any Producer of the Year awards today. So hopefully my hosting is making up for it. But, yeah, those are we're back in it. We're hoping that doesn't happen again here today. So still short and sweet. One last MLB game, and then we're skipping over to the NBA to close things out. Senga on the mound for the Mets and Minaya on the mound for the Giants. Giants, obviously, 6-11 so far. Has not been solid, favorable for them to this point. Just bounced back after a at least 4-game losing streak. I'm drawing a blank on how many in a row it was. I know at least 4 games, 2 in Detroit, next 2 in Miami, and then bounced back finally in Miami yesterday, 5-2. Mets playing solid ball right now. When they've won 4 of their last 5. Won a nice series in L.A. against the Dodgers. Now a short trip over to San Francisco with Minaya on the mound. So to see them, the Mets as favorites here against the Giants at home. Minaya, honestly, you could see him. I don't know what to make of his start so far. Pardon me. 2 innings, 2 hits, 3 earned. 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run was fantastic. And then 3 1/3, 4 hits, 2 earned runs. So getting a short leash so far. And as far as games going, not going too deep into him. Hasn't been giving up a ton of runs. But it's been a little bizarre so far as the stamina, not letting him go so far, or pulling him after a couple of times through the lineup. Senga for the Mets. Last time out, finally hit a little regression. Wasn't terrible, but definitely hit some regression. Wasn't good by that measure, but the Mets put up 17 and bail him out a little bit. First 2 starts against Miami were very solid. 11 combined innings, only 2 runs allowed over the 2 starts. Regresses a little bit last time. 4 2/3, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 homers, 4 walks, 7 Ks. So a little all over the place last time. So you could see a similar start to that before he bounces back a little bit here. I'm looking for a better Minaya start, maybe letting him go a little bit more, but it's tough to go against this Mets team right now. Tough to back this San Francisco team. They're just so inconsistent. Their offense is just so inconsistent. So I don't really want any part of it. I'd like to see Minaya start to go a consistent 6.5, 7 innings before I'm putting any more faith into him. So I'm going to stay away from the Giants. I will lean towards Minaya and the Giants being better today, but I'll stay away from it altogether there. So moving over to the NBA, and then we will get out of here. I've been talking all week long. This is Game 3 for Philly and Brooklyn. As far as the first 2 games, or I guess I should say after the second game, or going into the second game, then after the second game, that Brooklyn's going to put up a good fight in one of these games, and that's kind of what the line is suggested to you. So as much as I see a ton of people all over Philly, obviously, in this one with the short spread, I could see this one coming really close to the spread here. I would have still kind of respected the Nets 5.5, 6.5, honestly, at home. The way this series has gone so far through 2 games, to see it at 4.5, I do really respect it. I just, would have loved a little extra cushion with my thought process here of, staying away from the Nets if they fail to cover the first 2 games, and then, attacking and expecting them to potentially win one of these 2 games at home, if not at least put up a good fight and cover one of these spreads. Not as much of a cushion as I would have preferred, just from a standpoint of I think if it was 5.5, 6, there still would have been a lot of Philly money. But at the end of the day, I think you should be treading water on Philly. This could be a spot where they regress a little bit, take the foot off the gas a little bit, and then Nets show up, because at the end of the day, as much as obviously they lost their 2 guys, they still have some talent on this roster, a lot of depth in this roster. That can do a lot of things. So I'll lean towards the Nets getting this one done tonight. Getting one on the board before a potential gentleman sweep. If they don't get it on the board, I'll probably be back on them for Game 4, expecting them to get one on the board or come close to getting one on the board and cover a spread or something along those lines. So I've been talking about it all week, so I've got to put my money where my mouth is. Don't love it as much as I thought I would, but I still will go to that spot here tonight with them. Mentioned Suns and Clippers in the opening of the show with no Kawhi tonight. Makes it a lot tougher. It kind of is a situation where we talk all season long about the NBA and these injuries. Just when you think someone, in this case, obviously Kawhi Leonard going out, you think that Suns are going to roll by 15-20, and they absolutely could. But at the end of the day, so many times throughout the NBA season, you see the team that loses their stars still go on to win if not cover, if not win that game outright altogether as an underdog. So to see it only still at 7.5, 7, I'm kind of in that range right now. I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to leave it on the board, but with that situation going on, 1-1, Suns getting the evening the series last time out, looking a lot better. I think a lot of people are probably pouring in on the Suns now with no Kawhi. So I'm going to lean towards the Clippers on this one. Tread lightly. Could the Suns win by 20? Absolutely. But I'm gonna lean towards the Clippers covering. Maybe not winning, but at least covering this one and being a much goofier game than people are expecting there. And then as far as Sacramento and Golden State, told you to tread lightly on Golden State in Game 2 on the road. Now, obviously, no Draymond Green, so it is a little interesting tonight for Golden State, but they are at home and they have been fantastic on the road. A lot of why I was telling you to pump the brakes on Golden State was just because they're such a bad team on the road this season. Now you come home, they've been absolutely fantastic. So I do expect them to win. Are they going to cover the spread? I don't know. I think it's an inflated line, so I'm not rushing to the Kings in this spot necessarily. But I do think this is an inflated line here at 6.5 at this point here. So I'm going to stay away from it. I think the Golden State Warriors win tonight. It is a tough one if you're trying to do your simple favorite parlays or something along those lines. Finding a pairing with Golden State, at least in the NBA, might be tough. These especially on the spreads, could be a little concerning there. So tread lightly on those, and maybe if you have more confidence in the NHL, you can pair somebody. If you're trying to do some type of action parlay, not saying I advise it, but if you are doing something along those lines there. So without further ado, that is about it. Getting through our technical difficulties here. But yes, third time is a charm. I'm sorry I missed you there on that one, Connor. But yes, unless anyone has any other questions, obviously short MLB slate. Just the 3 NBA games, and then we will be back in some capacity tomorrow with 3 more NBA games: Denver and Minnesota Game 3, Cleveland, New York Game 3, and then Boston and Atlanta. In Atlanta trying to scrap their way to a 2-1 deficit there. So without further ado, I will go ahead and get on out of here. Good luck to anyone tonight and the rest of the week here. If you don't see me on anything that you've got going on, wager responsibly, stay true to who you are, stay within your limits, and we will all have a much better time. So thank you, and until next time, thanks for stopping by, everybody.